Say article from Paste Magazine. Elizabeth Warren failed to mention Medicare for All during last night's debate. Not even once. Elizabeth Warren appears to have given up on Medicare for All, at least as a talking point, at Tuesday's Democratic presidential debate in Iowa, the last before the caucuses. The 2020 hopeful did not utter the phrase a single time while discussing her health care proposal. Instead, she talked about defending the Affordable Care Act and downplayed the differences between the candidates' plans. Well, there are differences. The only candidate on the stage who's really been super explicit and has never wavered with their support of Medicare for All is Bernie Sanders. And again, Elizabeth Warren, once she backed away from her support from Medicare for All and came out with that two-tiered healthcare system, her numbers dropped in the polls. There's a reason why Bernie has the highest favorability with regards to the healthcare issue among Democratic candidates is because he's been clear and consistent for many decades about his support for Medicare for All. This is Warren. I'll use the power that's already given to the president to reduce the cost of insulin and EpiPens and HIV/AIDS drugs, Warren said. Let's get some relief to those families. I will defend the Affordable Care Act. So very similar to, type of things that Biden and Buttigieg are proposing. And I think possibly what happened with Warren is that she saw that she wasn't going to get the nomination. Her poll numbers were dropping. She never really was that concerned about Medicare for All, and now she's attacking Bernie on a very personal level, calling him a sexist. I think potentially she worked out some type of deal with Biden. Warren did not appear to approach the subject, but studiously refrained from using the phrase itself, which is pretty interesting because she had talked about it quite often before that pivot she made. Yes, we build on the Affordable Care Act, she said, but where we end up is where we offer healthcare to all of our people, and we can offer it at no cost or low cost to all of them. Later she said, yes, we build on the Affordable Care Act, but where we end up is we offer healthcare to all of our people, and we can offer it at no cost or low cost to all of them. So why Elizabeth Warren? I thought you were, all about healthcare is a human right. Everybody deserves it. You can't even say Medicare for all. Interestingly, when it came to speaking about her childcare policy, she had no problems referring to universal childcare for everyone, in marked contrast to her cautious language on healthcare. And again, I believe it's the number one issue for Democratic voters, or at least near the very top, and that is the issue of healthcare and why Bernie has the most support in that area, because he's been clear and consistent of his dedication to fighting and getting Medicare for All, so people aren't going bankrupt. So 30 to 45,000 people each year are dying because they don't have health care. Let's see. But Warren's commitment to Medicare for All has been sort of an open question throughout. Medicare for All activist. Yeah, which is pretty interesting that he endorsed. Even early on, despite having co-sponsored Sanders' Medicare for All bill in 2017, Massachusetts Senator had a tendency to equivocate when asked what her plan would ultimately look like. She would be open to multiple pathways to universal health care. Asked if she would eliminate private insurance, get everybody together, and that's what it is when we'll decide. I mean, it's very troubling, these new developments. At the July debate, Warren famously hit back at John Delaney, asking him, why would anyone go through all this trouble for running for president just to get up on stage and talk about what's not possible? Well, it seems that you're doing that right now, Elizabeth Warren, not even willing to utter the words universal health care or Medicare for All, even though you had, and apparently still do, claim to support that. Um, yeah, so this is from Paste Magazine, but again, healthcare, super important issue. It's completely ridiculous and unnecessary that we have up to 500,000 people in the U.S. going bankrupt each year, 30 to 45,000 dying each year. We also pay more than any other developed country for our healthcare, and we have these horrible health outcomes still. Bernie's the only one who's going to fight for Medicare for all. All of the other candidates will not do that. Healthcare is a human right. Bernie's the only one who has been clear in his support of Medicare for all. He believes healthcare is a human right. None of the other candidates truly do, or they would be fighting for Medicare for all. They don't. They all have these watered down versions of public option or Medicare for all who want it, but they still leave the fundamental problem of having a for-profit health insurance system in place. And public option would just create a two-tiered public system where the healthy and the wealthy would get private insurance, and people with no money or low income, as well as the people with sicknesses and illnesses, would get pushed off onto the public option, thereby making it more expensive. The only way to have a successful Medicare for all system is by eliminating private insurance, getting rid of it for duplicative care, for cosmetic surgeries, elective things. Yes, we could still have it, but in order for it to be a truly effective system, then we kind of do have to outlaw it, get rid of private health insurance for duplicative care, and only allow it for elective stuff, like I just said. So again, healthcare is super important. It's a human right. Bernie understands that, and he will fight to make sure that everybody has access to healthcare in the United States. Super important. Warren wouldn't, Buttigieg wouldn't, Biden wouldn't, Klobuchar. Bernie's the only one. Bernie 2020. Peace.